Hey everyone, this is Rachel from Songbird Crafts Inc. and I am going to color these 3 cute boys from CC Designs for Seasoned Boys. However, I never hit the record button when I started with this little guy. So I had already colored his skin and part of his hair when I realized I did not hit record. So because of that, I decided that I'm just going to focus on this little boy's clothing. I'll finish up his hair, but I'll focus on his clothing coloring, and then the other 2 boys, I will focus on their skin coloring and the hair. At the end, you'll see all 3 of the boys. So this little boy has sort of like olive skin and brown hair, and I am going to give him a red and blue outfit. Just a typical standard American type of outfit. You know, blue jeans, t-shirt, and sneakers. So I'm using alcohol markers, and I'm using whatever alcohol markers I have, mostly artist brand markers, which you can find at Home Goods and Marshalls and TJ Maxx. They're very, very inexpensive. So I tend to grab those really quickly because I know that they won't last forever since they're not refillable. But I realized that the blues that I had were too light, so I grabbed a Copic marker. I think it was a B21 to put a little deeper blue in there. And then I grabbed that darker blue from Artist. I think it's a 98 to just start giving it some depth and some shadowing. Then I grabbed that blue marker again. I think it's B21 from, it's either B21 or B41 from Copic. Then I grab a light blue marker. Actually, this is the B21 for his t-shirt. And then I go back to the B41 so that I can put in a little bit of shadowing for his t-shirt. And I apologize if you hear a cat meowing in the background. That's my cat. This is how she asks for snacks. And it's 7 in the morning, so it's a little too early for snacks for her. So I'm going to move on to his outer shirt, his button-down shirt. I'm going to make that one red. And again, I grabbed my artist marker in this red color. Now, those artist markers, you can get up to, I think, 48 in a set at the local stores that I mentioned before. And it'll run you maybe $12.99 or $16.99 or $20, which is still super, super cheap. But the variation between the colors isn't enough sometimes to do some shadowing or some blending. It's almost like there's colors missing in between. So because of that, I tend to go back and forth between my other markers. So here is a Copic marker. I think this is red 89 to add some shadows. I go back to the red from Artist, and it doesn't really blend very well, but I keep it that way anyway. It's okay. I think it looks pretty good. I go back to my light blue marker, B21, to add some blue to his sneakers, so he is very matchy-matchy. I go and grab a color or Kalour, it's spelled Kalour, color pencil in a brown color to add some more shadowing to his skin. I'm so sorry that my voice is going in and out. I do the same on his arms, and then once I'm satisfied with how much I added for his shadowing, I'm going to grab a blending stump and some Gamsol right there in the little cap, just because this is going to be very quick. And then I blend out that extra pencil that I put in. You'll see at the end how great that blending looks. And I'm not sure if it's me because I don't have very good vision. It almost seems a little bit fuzzy. I don't know if that's me, but I almost feel like the camera is focused on my hands and not on the picture itself, and I'm not sure how to fix that. If anybody knows, would you please leave me a comment in the comments below. Okay, so I'm gonna move on to the other 2 boys, and like I said, because I lost the footage of the first boy's skin coloring, I figured I would just focus on skin coloring for these next 2 boys. It'll also make the video a lot shorter. So I start with, I believe it's a E11 marker to start the base on his face, and then I grab one of my artist markers. I think it's a 59 in green for his eyes. I grab E08 from Copic just to give him some red hair. I like my images to be very diverse. So the first boy, I gave him olive skin with darker hair. This boy is going to have fair skin with red hair. And then my last boy is going to be different from these two. Okay, so I grab a color pencil so that I can give him a little bit of shadowing. This pencil color looks a little like his hair color, but it's okay because he's a redhead, so I want him to look a little ruddy. And I don't add too much. And then I just grab my blending stump again so that I could blend out that pencil with the Copic marker. And the Gamsol will also help with blending with any alcohol marker and color pencil. Okay, so you can see there how his skin now looks a little ruddy. Perfect. All right, I really like the way he turned out. Just a little more blending, and then I'll show you what he looks like done. And there he is. I love the way he looks. You can see him there next to the first guy. Again, I don't know why it's not as clear as it should be. All right, so for my last boy, I'm going to give him darker skin. So I start with the I think it's 15, E15 as my base color. And then I mostly use color pencils to deepen in his skin tone. So I start with this sort of medium brown, and it looks pretty good. I just start putting in the lines where I want to have his shadowing, and then I use my Gamsol and blending stump to blend that out. But later on I grab right here a much darker brown, and I add a little bit more depth because I want to be able to see the shadow. His face is to the side, so I want to see some shadow around that nose as well. I then blend that in with my Gamsol. And once I color him completely, I realize I want even more shadowing. So I add some more of that dark brown around. You can't really tell here, but you'll see it at the end. Once I'm done adding that extra, I add a little more Gamsol. I mean, I think I'm overdoing it, but I really wanted him to have a specific depth to his skin color. Okay, here are the three boys together. There are 4 boys in the set because it is called 4 Seasons, but I only colored 3. These are from CC Designs, 4 Seasons boys. I think they are fabulous. They are so much fun to color, and they're a very large size. If you haven't checked out CC Designs yet, you need to do that. Please check them out. Put the link in the description. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Hit that like button. It pushes out my videos for more people to enjoy. Until next time.